I'm your host Fahad Faruqui, and you're watching The Coffee Table. Today we will be discussing how media has changed us, our society, and politics. With us to discuss this, we have our esteemed guest, Amna, who is a political activist and an educationist. We also have with us Faraz Saeed, who is a columnist and steers towards an Aristotelian school of thought. Thank you for being with us. Let me ask you the first question. Today we live in an age where computers are everything. It's the age of digitization. Everything is on the computers. If we forget the phone number, nobody memorizes the phone number. Are there any pros and cons to it? Because we've become a slave to digitization, to the computers, to smartphones.
Yes, absolutely. I think I wouldn't disagree with you when you say that, we have become slaves to technology and computers and smartphones and our social media accounts and everything. But again, I think it has made our lives a lot easier. We can sit at home, we get entertainment. It's just a click away, right? We get to do our banking. We get to do. We share our opinions, we disagree. It's an interactive forum, right? And
that's the good side of it.
Yes, yes.
There's a bad side to it too.
Well, there is a bad side, but I won't agree to an extent that it has made us some sort of slaves to itself, because I think it has to a larger extent.
How many hours in a day do you carry your phone and it's right in front of you?
Yeah, but it is to a larger extent, it has added value to our lives. I mean, if you think in that particular perspective, it has added value to our lives. For instance, it has made our lives easier. Our access to a lot of things which were previously very hard to achieve, it's a lot easier now. So I would agree to Amna Musfa to an extent, but disagree that it's not has made us slaves anymore.
When we had traditional, conventional media, there was no way of knowing. Now, this social media, I think, it helps with our selective memory. You say something today, someone in seconds will right there and then call you out if you're wrong. And then,
Or
or
call you out irrespective.
But again, in context of fact-checking, I think we are going there. We are calling out fake news. We are now, a year, 2 years back, we weren't bothered. We didn't even know. We didn't even think twice before sharing anything. Now we do. We do take a minute, because now discourse has started. That there is alternate truth, there is alternate fake, alternate
But isn't that
news.
polarization? People are on the two ends of the trajectory. You go on social media, there is one side which is going on with a penchant for side A, and there is another side B, which is just going on and on.
I mean,
you still again want to agree with me?
No.
I think you should.
You really don't have to do that.
So I'll agree, but I'll disagree. Yeah, that's euphemism. Okay, I'll agree to you, Fahad. Let's disagree, and let's come up with another point.
On a serious
exactly.
note. On a serious note. You put something up on social media, there is one reality check. You can put absolutely anything out there. You can put something absolutely bizarre out there, and there will be a following to it.
But someone out there will call it out, and you calling that polarization, right? Because it's divisive, right? Social media is very divisive, right? It's either this or that, right?
But so again, there will be somebody who'll call him out on the Aristotelian empirical truth.
I'm sure there are a lot of people. We can start with you,
Yeah.
Yes.
But I personally believe this is evolution.
Let me help you guys out.
Yeah.
My problem is there are hashtags every second day. There is some things that is trending. There is so much else happening in the world which needs attention, but that hashtag instead gets attention. And there are people on two sides of it, and people will keep arguing with each other. The people will be daggers drawn with each other.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? That's the beauty. That's actually the beauty of it. The interactive nature of social media. I think it beats every medium. It beats every medium.
No,
If you have 50
I
people...
still like human beings. I still like having a cup of coffee with a human interaction.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I'm a very virtual
Okay, Fahad,
person, so
do you like Kylie Jenner? Do you
Okay,
like her?
you can't ask me questions.
Do you like her?
sorry.
I mean, we follow her on Instagram.
You mean
She's
you
become
mean
a
to say
huge.
do you mean to say do you like her or do you like her?
Exactly. I mean, there's
That's
no.
where you want to go with it?
Yeah, I mean Instagram. I mean Instagram celebrity. Everybody like her, not because they have a set of priorities to set. I mean, they're bigger, far bigger issues in Middle East, in Levant.
But who cares?
But
It's okay.
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
okay if you do not care about the bigger issues in the world or life. It
And you're
doesn't make
following
you
Kim Kardashian?
Exactly. It doesn't make you a lesser human being. That's
Of
all
course
right.
not.
Thank you.
So, Amna, there is another element to media, is that social media activism is really strong. Why do we use social media so much? It was so different back in the day.
I know it was. I think the social media has opened, I think, a new frontier for politics in Pakistan. It's absolutely...
But it's across the globe.
But again, we have just caught on to it now, right? Especially with young people coming into politics, like Bilawal, Mariam, Khan. I don't know if you can call him young or not, but youngish. Okay. So again...
If you so will.
Yeah, exactly, if I really have to, right? So again, these young people coming in, they have understood that politics cannot be done in isolation like it used to be, right?
But
you have to interact.
They're actually hiding behind the social media as well.
How do you think? What do you mean
Most
by
of the
hiding?
celebrities are. They're people who cannot speak out. They're using your social media platforms. So isn't it the same thing there that politicians are hiding behind the social media?
I won't say that there's a hiding behind social media. I would say that they're using it as a tool to interact with the masses, right? To see what
Or the
actually... even the old, we do not give them the old. I know that is such a wrong thing to say, such a politically incorrect thing to say. But again, the older generation.
In as far as you agree that I'm young, I'm fine with your old.
We both are. We
Fantastic.
both are. Thank you. So again, social media is, I think. I feel really good when I can interact with the governor, with the minister, and I can share my grievances with him. I can tell him what's going on, you know. Just last term, it was almost impossible to do that. So it gives you, I think that's what democracy actually is, you know. One platform, and everyone is on that platform, and everyone is actually accountable. You ask them questions, they have to answer.
I mean, you're a columnist. You're actually angry out there writing that people are not being heard. So it's only either she is being heard and you're not being heard.
I am being heard.
There's something going on there.
Again, we're going through a transitioning process where being a columnist, I do have a larger audience conventionally.
Absolutely.
But now she has the largest audience now.
Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because people don't read.
Yeah, exactly. People don't read. And you know...
and there is an audience for 141 characters.
Yeah, exactly. That is the point. That is the point. People don't want to read like 900-word articles.
If you can convey it in like 240 characters, why not?
And this new research where people would want a 2-minute video, audio, anything.
Of everything.
Of everything.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
All of this conversation, all of this discourse in this show would summarize somehow in 2 minutes and people would be happy to see that. But I mean, how...
You're killing me. You're telling me that I won't have an audience for this show now.
I mean, that's digitization. That is digitization, the age of digitization.
But I think there is no competition to this electronic media. Right now, I think that you shouldn't feel threatened at all, okay? So I'm standing by you right here. But again, but I think in some years, this conventional, traditional medium is going to be threatened or probably...
On that note, we'll take a short break. Welcome back. He makes it sound very good. And you also make it sound very good. My trouble is that people are looking at their phones, either smiling or angry.
Angry, yeah.
There is no third emotion. And then what's the deal with like absolutely everyone goes through this phase where people literally say this on Facebook the way they're going through a blocking regimen. So if you can still read this post, you're the lucky one. So we can't, I mean, what's the deal?
So don't you think it's a good thing, it's a positive thing that people have a punching bag, a sounding board somehow, right? Instead of going
I have my producer for that.
You're one of the lucky ones, you know, the privileged ones. We're talking about the common people like us, right? So we again, yeah, you.
Yeah, but blocking somebody out, I mean, are you not stopping?
How do you block a person out in real life?
Not in a real
so
life.
you can only do this on social media.
On social media,
and
exactly.
feel good about it.
And feel good about it, yeah.
What kind? How is it? So here's my, on this very serious note, that I'm also serious about the Tinder part, but then
Yeah.
even more serious note.
Yes.
How is it? How is media affecting our psyche that we need to block people out, an opposing point of view out, in order to go on? Because there is absolutely no way in blocking people out in real life. People at work, people in college, your relatives. I mean,
I know.
is
You'd
there
love
an
to
app where I can block relatives?
No.
I'm still searching for that. I'm still searching
we-
for that. I'm desperate for
Is
desperate.
there
if
anyone
anybody-
making this?
Well, I don't know.
So-
Tech companies should
So again, here is where you both agree with me again.
again.
Again. In real life, you can't block people off.
Well,
In social media, you can. And that empowers you, because you were talking about empowering. You were very happy.
Yeah.
And you still am, but you're
Yeah, I
now
know.
kind of now getting jittery.
Because I'm just thinking of what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out how to answer
How many
that.
people have you blocked in
And
life?
A lot, a lot.
There we
lot.
go.
Why? No, because abusive content. Abusive, not disagreement, right?
Okay.
Or a debate. I encourage that, and I think a lot of people do. But Twitter, social media is very cruel. And Twitter especially can be very, very cruel when it needs
You're
to be.
actually just
right?
bucking my argument. Because the thing is, if that would happen in the real life, somebody would get up and say, dude, what's going on? Is there something wrong with you?
Again, that's the difference. In
And that
real
doesn't
life,
happen
you
in
won't
social
take
life.
that liberty, right?
Exactly.
You won't, because in real life, social norms
decorum, social norms,
absolutely,
whatever you want to call it.
So you're a little polite. You don't want to be rude. So you
Fake
a little,
polite.
Absolutely, and you're a little patient, right?
Exactly.
On social media, you really don't need to be, right?
No,
And why not? If you want to,
you can be
for your
angry and
peace of
use that
mind-
smiley emoji.
adding to Amna's point about abusive content, I've always personally believed, and I still strongly believe, that we've been handed over this technology without being trained, without being evolved to a certain point.
Very interesting.
I mean, Instagram, Twitter, all these apps were not meant for the people in subcontinent. We haven't evolved to that stage. We never acquired.
that's very unfair, right?
we have to come up with new apps for the subcontinent now.
I mean, we still have iPhone 10, but we don't know how to use all of its fixtures or features.
So how does somebody sitting in United States of America be taught how to use Instagram or Facebook for that matter?
Well, these technologies or these apps have been the product of their evolution, not our evolution. Our evolution have been slow, somewhat very, very slow.
We're primitive?
I mean, I would not label ourselves
I'm just
as
playing with
primitive.
you here.
I will not label ourselves as primitive.
I'm playing with you here.
Yeah.
I confess. But where I'm trying to go here is there are people, we've got revolutions across the board. We've had elections that have been on social media. There has been a voice. I have been taught for several years. I've interacted with a lot of young people. And I personally think, although as an anchor I shouldn't be doing this, but I have to jump in and say that some of very wise-minded people are out there. Some people who are very ethical are out there, and we do have a voice, and they've used social media in the right way. What concerns me, and the reason why I'm having this conversation with you guys, that there is a lot of people who are out there who don't know how to deal with it. How can we help them deal with it? And then there is another factor at play here. There is a lot of media activism, which wasn't there back in the day. This is absolutely new. And I know you're a political activist.
Yes.
How have you yourself seen the change? Because you've seen back in the day when you couldn't speak?
Yes. I think politics, again, now cannot be independent of social media in any way. It can't be. Narratives are built through social media now. Political narratives are built, right? Accusations are fired at opponents. Again, this has led to polarization of an already divisive society.
Absolutely.
It has, right? We are already very divisive, and this politics creeping into social media has, I think, polarized us further, right?
They have.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and you made a very interesting point that it's actually everyone backstabbing everyone. Actually, social media stabbing everyone. It's not even backstabbing. Can we have a new name for it, please? Social media stabbing? Or you people have already come up with something?
Yeah, I think that sounds nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds
Social
about right.
stabbing, my producer says.
Yes.
Social starter.
Yeah. So again, yes, it is used as generating new narratives, right? Political parties know that it's a great tool to reach out to the educated masses, right? I'm not talking about the general people. TV is there for
But they're
it,
part and parcel
right?
of, everybody
But,
is part and parcel of that anyways.
but again, you know, political discourse has started, which has never, ever happened ever in Pakistan. The only way to communicate was through columns, through newspapers. That is it, right? Or TV appearances, right? That was the only way we could hear our representatives talking to us or communicating policy or whatever, right? Now it's one-on-one. I can call out a minister there and then, and we
She likes calling people out.
Yes, of course.
I'm kind of scared now.
No, because that's what social media is all about, right? It's not about being politically correct. It's not about being nice. It's not about even we go beyond party loyalty when it comes to.
But there is one thing that I would have to agree. Not so much with politics because I'm not a political activist per se, but human rights, I take it to heart.
Yes.
And there are a lot of youngsters who would take up an issue if there is an issue.
Yes.
Haven't you seen that?
There's an issue. But before answering your question, I would like to add to Amna's point and the thing that you were discussing. I think so. I would like to compliment social media because social media has complemented us conventional media persons. Because I think I can write on some subject that I could not have written 10 years ago. Now that because social media has made us so powerful.
Bloggers, I think the bloggers are more popular than you people now. These columnists, bloggers, because they have more audience. They have, again, they don't have to depend on people to get it published or that red tapeism that comes with it, right? You just have a thought, you type it down, and there are a lot of people there and then within seconds who agree or disagree with
your
you.
article is not at the whims of the editor who would have,
or
who
agenda
would be
driven,
busy or be
agenda
cranky or grumpy.
agenda driven, you know, or agenda driven.
Or I can write against some powerful person that I don't like.
Absolutely,
And
without the fear of.
Without the fear, because if there would be an intimidation, I would go on social media and there are like 1,000 people would support me on that particular point. So yeah, there's little hostility, and if there's a hostility, I have this power of social media to manage and manifest.
How many people have misused this power? Have you seen this power being misused?
Of course. When you look at opponents, or when we look at
political opponents, you mean?
Political opponents, yes. Or if we tend to disagree with a certain narrative, right? So obviously.
In as far as you guys are not disagreeing with me,
no.
I'll take a break.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Welcome back. This is what I want to talk about. Everybody is after likes on social media. It's like the new social capital. We want the high. But that's fake.
Not to people who are actually in that virtual world, you know. For them, the social capital, the number of likes, if they've seen our post or not. It's very important, the minute you post something, you waiting
Yeah,
for...
it's gonna go-
Yeah,
the hype up.
yeah. So again, for them, it adds to their profile, it adds to their popularity. For them, it's just a tool to gain popularity, and it gives you a high at the end of the day that, wow, people actually are looking at me, or they're actually, they care what I'm saying, So
But-
it
but
adds
isn't
to
that
your...
it?
But
adds-
is it organic? Is it real? Is it real?
What
Or
is
it-
real? Let's-
or have
come
you
on,
spent some
come on.
bucks
It is a
and bought
virtual
those
world, isn't
fake
it, at the end of
followers
the
in
day?
China?
No,
But it is the virtual world,
problem.
right?
It's like people knowing
So why
me,
do we have
people,
that? Yeah.
people liking me for what I am. What I grapple with, there are a lot of bots out there. So you're buying plans to actually get those likes.
Again, if you're saying that bots who are actually increasing your social capital,
Which
I think
reminds
that
me-
makes money. That makes you money. And again, the younger generation, it does. The more subscribers
you
you have
monetize on that.
yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
I'm-
And the
I'm-
younger
I'm
generation,
starting up on
Okay.
that.
they're
So-
22 and they have a makeup artist
Yes.
on YouTube. At 22, they have a house, they have a car, and they have like millions of dollars, and they're earning.
let
There
me
was,
Why
a,
not?
there was a girl crying that I lost my Instagram account and now I have to work 9 to 5.
See?
So I was like wondering, how does she earn on Instagram?
Yes,
so can
the
I
followers.
Please, can I know the 9 to 5? So I'm learning things from you.
Okay.
First one was Tinder. That's
Okay.
That's
a
a
lot of
thumbs up.
learning. A lot of learning.
a lot of learning, yeah. But now, how do you make money out of social media?
Exactly. So I'm starting up on that. Imagine I'm starting up on that. I've not joined 9 to 5 job, but I'm starting up on
So
that.
I don't have to wear this and come to office and I can do this on Instagram?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's
Tell
the
me.
beauty of it.
Okay.
You can
Okay,
sit
dummy.
in your
Okay.
PJs, sitting there behind that
Amna,
computer doing nothing.
Please, I need a backup for my own self.
I mean,
Dummies guys.
conventionally,
Dummies
you
guys.
have to be beautiful for that. If you want to sit on, if you want to sell your things that
And
you
there's a lot of pressure
generally
as well.
hide.
I'm beautiful.
Oh, yes, you are. But then again, I mean, you're not Kardashian.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, and
Apples and oranges. Please.
all of us know okay, what they do on social media, on Instagram. Now they've got their own
me out.
brand. Now they've got now they have their own brand on cosmetics and all of the things, and they've got more than
These
millions.
silly YouTubers, and these silly
The
YouTubers.
face you make
they-
like saying YouTubers.
I know. I don't know. I just
You
don't
wanted
get them.
you wanted to be
yeah.
deep inside.
No, I
You're
just don't
an
get them.
educationist who
Just-
want to be a
yeah.
YouTuber.
No. I just don't get them. I mean, they're so silly, and they have massive
Please
following,
take that
and
back.
they're making.
Please take that back right
my-
now. You're going to have trouble with your students tomorrow.
Plus the social capital. We're talking about social capital, right?
absolutely,
The
yeah.
social capital has earned these young generation,
Yes.
this young lot, influence.
And an identity.
How did they get these
and
million
an identity.
followers?
Well,
They buy them?
people like so you buy them, but then that's not sellable. I mean, you cannot monetize on paid social media followers, but if you've got organic followers, you monetize on that, and that's where your question lies. How do you monetize on that? Well, you've got enough amount of followers, you've got enough amount of content on your social platform, and then these big marketing companies, instead of coming to you or conventional media, newspapers or TV channels, they go to these influencers and they tell you, okay, we sponsor you, we give you 5 million rupees to go cover this and this and that, because their product is being sold out to the required audience. So they're connecting to the audience directly. They don't want to, support themselves through TRPs as conventional media channels do. They've got actual numbers. I mean, I'm doing this stuff on social
Fantastic.
media.
It's
no,
like
is it?
it's like
It's
you know what baffles me, and I'm going to be very, very honest here, is the idea that I have a following. It just at your very psyche, like I think that there is a following, there is an army that backs
I
me.
know.
If I say wear this, they'll wear that,
Yeah.
and I can steer them in a certain direction. There has to be an evolution on the spiritual side of it, that where does it take you? You start believing in things that those things exist, whereas the following really doesn't exist. And on the other hand of the trajectory, I mean, I shouldn't be saying this, but shouldn't you be steering people to a good direction or somewhere right? As opposed to be selling them, oh, I use this makeup. There's this, and then you apply that, and then you apply something on top of that, and then on top of that you do this. So with the YouTubers who say, I mean, I have a niece at home, and she showcases me the things you can do with this eyeliner, and like there are layers and layers of it. How do you deal with that?
I think it's beautiful. I look at it positively. Our younger generation, they are.
You believe there is no fakeism anywhere there?
There is. I think there's, again, I think you
What
grow
happened
out of it. No, you grow
what
out
happened
of
to
it
natural
over
was
time, right?
beautiful.
We've gone through that phase as well, where followers or where someone endorsing how I look or endorsing what I wear used to make me feel good about myself, right? So that was a phase. I've grown out of it. So this generation will grow out of it too. Let them enjoy it. Let them enjoy the again, there's so much pressure on the younger generation to look good, to be a specific way, to have certain knowledge, be good looking as well, have money as well, right? So again, this is a platform where you're letting the younger generation steer their own future. They can,
In that future, I've recently read an article which talks about exactly that, that looking good is leading me to be suicidal. That people, it's like, it's pushed the boundaries so far.
And this particular issue has led Instagram to launch their new policy that they're not going to show you the likes that you have. So
there is a
so
reason behind it
exactly.
because it's gone crazy.
Yes.
And
there's a lot of pressure as well.
Exactly.
Yes, I understand that, but that's okay. That's okay. Why? I mean, we all go through that phase of, but again,
I'm sorry,
I think it adds
the only
more to their
pressure I remember
personality.
was the
It
pressure
adds
for
to their
exams.
personality.
That's the only pressure I remember.
Even that's the pressure.
And don't call me an old hag.
Even
We're
that's
the
the
lost
pressure.
generation. We're the lost generation.
Okay,
Fahad,
for
come
instance, okay, you were the teachers. Okay, Bill Clinton was for me he was a personality.
Larger than life, huh?
Larger than life. Hillary Clinton was, and if they would say something, they've got their required background, required experience, academic life, and all, and
Everything at
and their
stake.
experience.
Absolutely
Exactly,
everything at
and
stake.
they're academically evolved, psychologically evolved. Look at these 18-year-old kids on different social platforms, influencing people. How do you...
They're social influencers.
Exactly,
you know?
but
You
how
Yeah,
don't-
yeah.
And, yeah, a
Every-
16-year-old is a social
How do you
influencer.
expect a
You haven't even
16-year-old...
lived your life.
Exactly.
Beta, you know.
And how do you expect a 16-year-old kid to say something really wise
Fashion influencer, makeup
know, yeah.
influencer.
with no training? With
The
no...
only influencer I knew was motivational speaker.
Yeah.
That makes me.
Yeah.
And they're motivational speakers as well. I mean, these social media, these bloggers are motivational speakers now.
No,
I don't get it.
They're the counter narrative to motivational speakers.
But that's what
But
they
they
think.
claim-
They're under the impression, the delusion that they are motivational.
Exactly. So I don't want to endorse any social media influencers or bloggers here, but they're ruining our generation.
What do you say
I
about
personally
that?
believe
No,
they're
I am an optimist. I
This is
always look at the
all
positive.
messed up.
No, I look at the positive side of things. I think children, they get a space. Not children. I wouldn't say I'm not that old. Now the new generation, they get a space to actually be themselves. Right? It's a punching bag for them. It's a sounding board for them. Again, if they are going for social capital, it adds to their confidence, it adds to their personality, and why not? Right? There is a downside to it. There are a lot of pressures, obviously. The pressures are always there, but I think this new generation is more responsible and more ready and prepared to deal with these pressures. They sail through it. You just don't give them. You do not give them enough credit.
That's so
I think.
much responsibility. That's so
I know,
much
that's all right.
responsibility. And
That's
I think
all
I
right.
think we've provided all of these things in their hands, expecting them to be something really, really good. But I don't expect them to do something really good. Existential crisis, A lot of people.
So a little good, a little bad, it's okay. That's what
There's a
life
lot of-
is, right?
they're
But the
massive.
absolutes, you can't look at like life in absolutes that everything is good. Of course, there's a downside to it.
Okay,
but
okay.
Pick and choose.
So why
na?
is there a rise in young generation who are suicidal? They've got
I think it's always
existential
been there. It's just that we get
crisis.
to know now.
They've got existential crisis. I think these are very serious issues that we are not addressing.
But on a lighter note,
Okay.
is there a dummy's guide to becoming famous? Because now that you've told me that that I can be an influencer myself,
Yes.
so I need to try this out. So can I get a dummy's guide to try out myself? And mind you, I am beautiful.
Well, you are, Fahad.
You don't have a choice
Fahad,
right now.
you
You're on my
are-
show.
Right now, exactly.
Fahad,
It's
you
like
look-
putting a
you-
gun on
you-
someone's
you
head
look-
and saying, yeah.
Fahad, you look stunning on the screen.
Thank you. Can I get the dummy's guide now?
So you've got to have this. So for instance, Instagram, you've got a lot of filters to swipe right, and you can become more beautiful, galvanize yourself, and that's when you start saying something to the people. And if you connect to the youth, you're going to have massive social
How
capital.
much
then.
money can I make?
Well, that depends how much viral your content goes. For instance,
Can
if
you make my content go viral, please?
Well, I can certainly. I can certainly. So I get money for that too.
You're on my show. Are you paying me for this? If you want the show to go on air,
Okay.
you know what to do.
So it's going to be a B2B business.
Exactly.
Exactly. So you promote me, I promote you.
I've already done it.
Okay, so it's my job.
So it's
my job.
Dummy's guide on how to not let it get to you. Because we need
thick
that.
skin. Have a thick skin, and I think the younger generation has a thicker skin than us. We don't, they do. Have just have a thick skin, and
I love your optimism.
yeah, that keeps us sane, doesn't it? If we don't have optimism,
Yeah, I
are
do.
done
I
with
do
life.
believe that you
Yeah.
cannot be a pessimist, and
Yeah, absolutely.
you should have a positive outlook. And there is a downside to everything, but then the question arises that we are buying followers. It's like back in the day, the pressure was on being friends and making friends,
Real friend.
real friends,
Real
real
friends.
life friends.
That was too taxing, too exhausting. I think this is easier.
Faker?
So these
Not
five.
faker, just virtual friends. You don't really have
Isn't
to
this
invest much.
but they're
You don't have to
bought-
invest much. So yeah.
Where isn't this self-deception?
Yes, right. I love that word, self-deception. Don't we all deceive ourselves all the time? So why not through social media? Come on, Fahad. Come on,
Fantastic.
Fahad.
I
Come on.
love to deceive myself, but then again, reality check. I mean, weren't we talking about fake news and everything, fact checking and all? Fact checking and all. So reality check, being more practical, being more pragmatic about the issues at hand. If we follow upon more self-deception and deceiving not just ourselves but people around us. For instance, our parents. Oh yes, we've done a great job because I'm an Instagram influencer. What am I going to do after 40 years, after 30 years? Nothing. What have I earned?
The
Nothing.
problem is, here's the deal, that they all want to be famous. And not everybody becomes famous. And
Absolutely.
he
Everyone
needs
has
to
a
help
go
me
at
out
it.
with
Yeah,
myself
yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
And he's doing that. He's already said that. But what about those who are unable to become famous? Let me share a story with you.
Bad luck,
Okay.
the bad
Let me
luck.
share-
Come on.
let
In
me share-
real life,
Let me
everyone's
share a
not
story
success,
with
right?
you. And I haven't done this before. There was a young girl, a villager, who left her home and ran to the city, the metropolis, and went to a channel wanting to become a model. And she was just 16. She had left her home without any money. And if she had gone in wrong hands, she would have been busted.
Absolutely.
And she had seen, all she said was, I want to model and I want to be on Instagram. It's like, I understand we have a lot of people out there who can take care of themselves, but there are a lot of impressionable ones there. And I think a lot more impressionable ones.
Again, I think education. We need to educate our generations about social media because this is a reality. We cannot do without it. So again, I think a responsibility
This is
on
something that
parents.
came up the other day on the show as
responsibility
well.
on responsibility on parents, responsibility on the schools. Somehow you need to tell the children
parents
how
don't
to
know how
use
to
it
deal with it.
responsibly.
Exactly.
Sorry?
Millennials.
Sorry?
Millennials, they don't know. Hashtag,
their parents don't know how to deal with it.
yeah.
Having talked about the multi-pronged effects of digitization today, many facets of social media have left us jarred and given us some food for thought, and hopefully for you too. We hope you enjoyed our conversation. Take care of yourself.